So I'm about to get really candid with you and just say that this week was a rough week. I'm not really sure how this video is going to turn out. I'm not really sure, because of my mindset this week, how much footage I got or whatever. But I guess I just wanted to come on really quick and just say that I did struggle this week. My creative work didn't begin until Tuesday, and I could not drag myself out of the bed on Monday, which felt very reminiscent of how I felt when I was in the deepest parts of my depression. However, I don't think I'm depressed. I think I might be feeling a bit of a burnout and also a bit of disappointment in the growth of my channel. I appreciate everyone that has subscribed so far. I realize that YouTube is a long game, but it still does not mean that there are not these feelings that I should be growing at a faster pace and that maybe somehow I'm failing the audience, which, you know, I don't know. And so I had a really hard time even wanting to create or even wanting to be creative this week, because I'm like, well, what if all of this is for naught? But what I'm learning too is that even when you feel that way, you also have to remember that you have to continue to put in the work. Because if you ever want to reach any sort of success in your writing career or any other career you may be pursuing, creatively or otherwise, you're going to have to put in the work. Good morning, creatives. So it is Wednesday morning, believe it or not, and I am preparing for an Amazon Flex route this morning. I wanted to record this because the last time I recorded the time when I was going out to do Amazon Flex, it was really early, which it still is. It's about 2:46 right now, and I have a shift at 3:30 a.m. and I wanted to record this simply to say that this is the life for me right now in terms of being a creative. I have to do things that sometimes I don't want to do, but I have to do because I have to make ends meet. And this is another side of AuthorTube that I feel like people don't really show, is the fact that there are still many of us that are working a daytime job. And for me, for instance, I'm working a daytime job, plus I'm doing this part-time job as well. And the thing is that just because you're not doing the creative work full-time doesn't make you less of a creative. I sometimes grapple with that because I feel like if I was really a creative, I would be doing this full time. I would be doing all of the creative work all of the time. Sometimes it's hard to swallow that I'm not. And then I also have to admit that there are so many artists out there that are the same as me. They're working full-time jobs. They're trying to do the creative work on the side, and it can be rough, let me tell you. At 2 something in the morning, when you have to go deliver packages, it feels like crap. But I just want to give you a little inspiration this morning and just say that I am right in the thick of it with you, and I understand that it can be hard to be motivated during the days that are more busy. But I'm gonna try to get through today and actually still do my creative work. And maybe take you along on the ride as I do Amazon Flex, because I got the most incredible sunrise the last time that I did an early morning shift. And so if I can catch that today, I want to catch that because it was absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, I just wanted to check in and say good morning, and I will check back in with you later. Have a great day.
Diane. And hi, Joanne and Diane. I'm sending you all my love and hugs, and I hope you feel better soon. And KL, hello, just popped in. Just saw.
I honestly didn't expect to get anything done on Wednesday after doing the Amazon Flex shift and really just still feeling like I was in this state of not being motivated. But I did, and I was grateful because JC Sprint was on, or her live stream was on Wednesday, and that was the motivation I needed to push myself through what I was feeling and to just do the creative work. I don't often sit on streams because of the fact that sometimes I just miss them because of my work life and stuff like that. And so when I do sit down to do my creative work, it's kind of too late, so I usually do the rewatch. But this time I was actually able to sit on the live stream and write with everyone else, and I was able to work on all three projects. So here's the thing that I learned this week. I realized how important community is at this point in the week, and I also realized that even despite how I feel, I can still do something. It may not be everything that I want to do in that particular, span of time, but I worked for an hour and a half on my creative projects that day, and I moved the needle. And so I count Wednesday as a win, and I felt really, really good about where I ended up. Hello, everyone. So it's Thursday, and I have a confession to make. So this week has been a bit of a struggle for me. I don't think it's like depression or a depressive episode necessarily, but it has been really hard for me to stay focused and motivated. And I didn't want to attribute it to burnout. Um, because I kept thinking like it's impossible for me to be burned out. I've done, the 2 weeks on, 1 week off thing for a while now, and it seemed to have been working for me. But I guess this week I'm realizing the importance of making adjustments. So for me, this week, the adjustments I made is not or were not forcing myself to constantly be full of activity. And that included in my creative life because I think we attribute burnout to this feeling of overwhelm and like just exhaustion. And I think I forget sometimes that I can get burned out in other areas of my life, not just creatively, and then it affects everything else. So it including my creative life. And I think that's kind of what happened this week. I think with all the work that I've been doing, um, that I finally just experienced a blockage. And I'm talking about it here because it's really important for me for us to acknowledge our mental health, regardless of where we are in our own personal journeys. And I think I needed to be a little gentler with myself this week because what it did for me is it allowed me to then um take my time, really listen to my body, really do the things I needed to do for myself this week and still continue to get my creative work done. I appreciate JC's stream yesterday because yesterday I was feeling extra unmotivated and I was able to get work done on all three of my projects yesterday on her stream, and it felt wonderful to actually, despite how I was feeling, be able to do that. So I just wanted to do this check-in to remind you that it is okay sometimes to experience burnout. And I think it's inevitable now, is what I'm learning, is that I think it's inevitable to at some point experience burnout in some area of your life. And I think that you have to acknowledge it and work through it and then continue to do the work. So, anyway, I wanted to say that. That's my little pearl of information. And now I will check in with you after I get the creative work done. So by Thursday, I think I had a desire to do the creative work, but I think I needed to do more shadow work that day. So, as you can see from this clip, my creative work for that day was journaling about my mental state, about where I felt like I was creatively, my feelings positive and negative about where I am creatively, and the part that I've played in being in the place that I'm in creatively. Honestly, I wish that I had done sooner the work that was required to be in a better place in my creative life. And I commend those that, despite their families, despite their hardships, that they are out here still doing the work. Because I am telling you, this week I was put through the ringer emotionally, and I am probably still trying to recover, which I am grateful that next week is my week off so that maybe I can spend next week resetting my mindset, resetting my direction, and just realizing that, and just being a little more gentle with myself and realizing that I am doing the work. And yes, it is taking time, it is taking energy, but I wouldn't change it for the world. As for my projects, I honestly don't know. I did a lot of work. I did more work than I thought I would actually in on my projects this week. And I believe that if I just keep chipping away at these mountains, that eventually they will become little tiny pebbles and I will be able to accomplish what I set out to accomplish in the first place. So if any of you struggled this week with, anything, if it was your mental health, if it was finances, if whatever it was, I just want to let you know that I see you and I understand that it is hard to show up for yourself when you are not feeling 100% like yourself. But I also want you to realize that it is okay to take space for everything that you feel, not to get dragged down by it, but to really acknowledge why you are feeling the way that you feel so that you can then move through it and move out of it. Don't get stuck in it, because once you get stuck in it, then it's harder for you to get out of it. So please, if whatever you need to do for yourself this weekend, do it. And you won't see me next week, but I will return on, I'm not even sure what the date is. I think when I'm finishing this video, it's the 5th. So I will be out the week of the 7th through the 12th. And I will be back the week of the 14th. So anyway, I hope you all are doing well, and I will be seeing you soon. Have a great weekend and take care. Much love.